Joining us, Annie's attorney, Todd Pomerleau. Todd, thanks for joining us. What happened?
So we had a hearing yesterday. A few weeks back, I filed a motion to find the government in contempt of court for violating an order that issued the Friday that we sued. We sued on the 21st of November. So roughly a week before Thanksgiving, I was boarding a plane to go surprise our folks for Thanksgiving and got arrested at Logan Airport in Boston, was detained at an ICE facility, deprived of phone calls all of Friday and Saturday. And we learned after that she was deported that Saturday in violation of this court order. So the hearing yesterday before Judge Stearns in Boston was focused primarily on whether the government should be found in contempt of court. And when the government's attorney walked in, the U.S. Attorney, Mark Sauter, acknowledged that a mistake had been made, and he apologized to the court, said that the United States here made a mistake and deported her.
So is she coming home?
We don't know yet, because to me, a mistake is one thing and apologizing is another. And, here, the only thing that they've effectively told the judge that they've done in recognition of this mistake was retrained ICE officers on how to read an email that has a court order attached telling ICE not to deport somebody. So right now, ICE hasn't offered any resolution. The judge thought of some solutions yesterday and asked the government attorney if these would be considered. But right now, we don't have an order requiring her return to the country. I asked for that yesterday, and it's possible the judge would still do that. I think the judge is effectively, required to issue an order such as that. But we don't want her coming back to the airport and then be locked up again illegally, which is what we thought her detention was never lawful in the first place. So to me, this is in many ways similar to, if you say you hired a mechanic to work on your automobile and somebody's filling in that day and they don't read the manual that says don't put certain oil in this engine, and they destroy your engine. So then you get told, look, sorry about that, customer. We retrained our mechanic to make sure that they follow proper protocols. Well, what are you doing about the engine you destroyed?
Yeah.
And to me, it's very similar to that. She was deported, and now by deporting her, there's all these complications with her case about even being able to come back to the United States without the government.
So what are the complications now?
Well, they deported her in violation of a court order. She did have a removal order that she didn't know about. Her family had no idea there was a removal order, and I couldn't even find access to it early on when I was trying to sue on her behalf, because the public database doesn't show there's a removal order. It shows there's no case information available. They're asking her to sign her own deportation at the ICE facility, and she wouldn't sign it. I have a document that said she refused to sign, which begs the question, why would you have to sign off on your deportation if the government claimed it had the authority to do so in the first place? But then they effectively deported her in violation of this court order. And that's really where the problem lies. The government's arguing, for example, we should have known to file the case in Texas because it's claiming that's where she was when we sued. But for several hours, they deprived her of phone calls. They deleted her from the ICE database. I didn't know where she was. I called ICE. They don't answer their phone. They didn't respond to emails. And these are common themes you hear throughout the country. And what I learned recently was there was a similar case in Utah where somebody was deported right before Christmas. And that attorney filed a motion, and that federal judge ordered that person's prompt return to the United States within 20 days. And this was discussed as well to the judge yesterday. So Judge Stearns, I think, has taken the matter under advisement. He did express concern about, well, what do we do? She was deported. The order was violated. The government claimed that it hadn't violated any court orders in Boston, mentioned that it's had probably 750 of these cases. But all we've been left with is an apology that kind of rings hollow here. They're saying an ICE officer was filling in for somebody else, and he got an email around 6:20 at night and didn't know what to do with it. And that he inputted information into an ICE database reflecting that there was litigation in the Boston federal court, including a stay. But the officials in Texas deported her, and it's the same agency. So I've reached out to the U.S. attorney to see if there's a way here where we can ameliorate everyone's concerns, because right now the case is still live in the Boston court. The judge expressed concern, as do I. And we had a whole ensemble of attorneys that helped out. We had the Yale Law School Rule of Law Clinic. We had the Protect Democracy Project out of Washington, D.C. I had the three attorneys led by Jesse Rossman, Adriana Lafay, and Julian Barber from the ACLU. They litigated the Ozturk case with success. And I had 7 retired judges led by Nancy Gertner, who used to sit on the Boston federal bench. And they all wrote amicus letters and briefs talking about the power of contempt and how we really need to get to the bottom of what happened here. Because court orders, it's the rule of law and it matters. And I told that to the judge yesterday. So we're just we're kind of in a holding pattern. The judge suggested that he was going to issue a decision soon, recognizing some of these concerns. But to date, we don't actually have an answer as to what ICE is willing to do other than saying sorry and saying that it retrained its ICE officers on how to read emails with court orders attached to them.
I thought your comparison to a mechanic and a destroyed engine was really a good one here. Todd, thank you so much for joining us. Please come back when there's some resolution. Hopefully you can come back with Annie.
Okay.
That would be best.
Yeah, she's looking forward to that. She's a remarkable young lady. She's been, doing studying abroad, through no fault of her own, and doing the best she can to get through finals. But she appreciates the outpouring of community support. And thank you, Katie, for having us on again to talk about her plight. And hopefully you can all hear from her soon in person.
Thank you again, Todd. Appreciate it.